Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. If you're new to the channel, I'm Rebecca. Today we're going to be doing some freeze drying. We do a really fun project. We're going to freeze dry some saltwater taffy. So this will take the chewy and sticky taffy and turn it into more of like a malted milk ball type of consistency. It'll be really airy and crunchy with a really intense burst of that flavor of taffy. So let's head to the freeze dryer and get it set up so we can create our freeze dried taffy. So here I have my freeze dryer. I have the Medium Pro with the pump off to the side, and you need to make sure that the software you have installed on your freeze dryer is at least version 5.x.19. I have version 5.4, so that's perfectly fine. If not, you just need to do some software updates for your particular machine. So what we need to do now is just program in the settings that we want for making our candy. So you'll hit Customize, and the initial freeze, I just put that to 0. Extra freeze time, I leave at the default. And then for the dry temp, this is the key part here. For candy, you want it between 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. I found that 140 degrees Fahrenheit works very well. And as soon as you put that to the higher temperature, you can see it says candy, high temperature mode, and the dry mode goes to fast. And then the extra dry time for candy, you can do anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. Typically works well for taffy. I like to do 4 hours. So we'll put it to that and then hit save. So now it's in the high temperature mode and we have our settings programmed in. So now we'll just press start and the machine will start to set up. This will take 15 minutes. So this is usually when I go and prepare my food that I'm going to be freeze drying onto their trays. So let's head over and get our taffy loaded onto our freeze dryer trays. Alright, so now we just need to prep our taffy to put onto our freeze dryer trays. So I have 3 pounds of saltwater taffy. That way I have a nice variety of flavors to choose from. And based on the time of year that I'm making this candy, I might choose different varieties of flavor to do. For instance, these here with the brown kind of golden color with the green in the middle, these are caramel apple. These are really nice in the fall. So I'll kind of put those aside because I want to do some bright and fruity flavors for summer. So I thought watermelon, I believe this is a cotton candy, maybe some blue raspberry, I believe this is orange cream. Flavors like this I want to focus on today and make some really fruity ones for summer. So I'm going to go through my bowl of taffy here and I'll take out the caramel apple, I'll take out the chocolate. But based on the time of year and the flavors that you're shooting for your end result candy, just leave those flavors in and use them. So I usually do a little sorting first. Try to figure out which ones I want to create that given day. And then when I put them onto the tray, I like to try to get 1 flavor per tray. Maybe 2 if they're kind of a coordinating type of color, because if they really puff up, they'll touch one another. Not that it's that big of a deal. So what I'm going to do is pick out all the watermelon ones now. Start with that one. You can use whatever your favorite brand of saltwater taffy is. These are Taffy Town. It makes a really nice end result. Okay, so I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 candies. What you want to do is remove their wrapper. Now what I'm going to do is cut these into a smaller size portion. If you left these whole, these would be massive things. They'd be kind of fun, but I prefer to do about a 1/4 cut into each of the candies. That makes a nice bite-sized piece of candy for someone to enjoy. For taffy, I find you don't really need to put the parchment paper down onto the tray. They'll just slide right off later. So we'll cut these candies into 1/4 pieces. Just set them onto the tray, leaving a little bit of room between them. So I'll keep working on cutting these taffy candies. All right, so our watermelon taffy has all been cut into quarters. We have 56 pieces of candy, so I was able to make some nice rows with spacing with 5 candies per row. So now I'll move on to the next flavor of candy. And these pink with the blue. I believe this is cotton candy. Either way, it's nice and fun and bright. So let's do that one next. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So just a couple more pieces, so we should be able to space them with about 5 candies per row again. So I'll get these cut into quarters and loaded onto the tray. There we go, we have 64 of these candies all spaced out nice. So let's do a third flavor. And I was thinking, I believe these are blue raspberry. Let's see what we have here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So I'll unwrap and prep these. Now we have this tray all prepped and ready to go. So our next flavor, let's do the purple one. I believe it's grape. There we are. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So let me unwrap these and quarter them. We have our grape tray all prepared, ready to go. So now for our final tray of taffy, I think we'll do a classic cherry for this. So it's the pink with the stripes of red on it. I believe that's a cherry. Good, okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. So this is going to be a jam-packed tray, but that's okay. It'll show the difference between rows of 4 or 5 with nice space between and ones where they're more compact on the tray. You'll see how they may touch. You're usually able to break them apart pretty easily. So let me prepare these pieces of taffy as well. All right, let me clean up a little bit here and I can show you all the different flavors that we have for our project today. So we have watermelon and cotton candy, blue raspberry, grape, and I believe this is cherry, maybe strawberry. Either way, these are all fruity and fun colored. I think these would be perfect for our freeze-dried taffy project today. So let's get these into the freeze dryer and move on to the next step. Now for the next step here, it tells us to do 3 different things. 1, we want to turn the candy process on. We need to load our trays and close the drain valve. Double turn on the knob to lock it. So to close the drain valve, you just simply turn the valve perpendicular. There we go. Now we will hit continue. And we want to warm the tray, so we'll hit start. And they'll be warming it to that temperature that we set, which was 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it is drying our candy. So we had programmed it for 4 hours and the pump is now kicking in and it will start freeze drying our candy. All right, so the process has completed and now it is beeping and telling us to open the drain valve. So when we closed it, we made it perpendicular, so now I'll turn it to be parallel. And that relieves the pressure built up inside of the freeze dryer. And then you can decide to either no defrost, start another batch of candy, or defrost. So I'm going to hit defrost. And now we can remove our freeze-dried candy from the freeze dryer. And then I'll hit continue after I close the door, and the freeze dryer will defrost itself, and all of that ice that built up inside will drain away. Show you how the candy looks. Get this out of here. It's puffed up real nicely. They're really cute and colorful. Can't wait to show you guys how they turned out. Okay, now I'll close the door again, and I'll hit continue, and now it will defrost. All right, here we have all of our freeze-dried saltwater taffy. They turned out really nicely. They're colorful and fun looking. You'll see the trays that I had 4, and they're nice round shape to them, lots of space. And then here we had a bit more of this particular flavor, so they were packed in this tray a little bit closer. But they'll still break apart nicely, so it's not that big of a deal. So we have watermelon, cotton candy, blue raspberry, grape, and I believe this is cherry. So these will be nice and colorful and fun for party favors, or just to have a sweet little treat for someone to brighten up their day. So let me get these off of the tray, and I can cut into a few of them so that you can see the internal texture of these. And of course, I'll have a taste of a few on the way too. So let me gather these up, and we can have a final look at our freeze-dried taffy. And I should mention that these need to be stored in an airtight container or bag. I really like to use these Rubbermaid take-alongs. They're 1.1 gallon containers with the lid, because they don't take up a lot of room and you can pack a lot of the candy in there. You can also use a zip top bag or a reusable silicone zip top bag as well, just to keep them nice and fresh. But then when I'm ready to give these to someone or share them as a party favor, then I'll put them inside of a little cellophane bag, and I'll do that usually the day of, so that they stay nice and fresh and crispy as they're intended to be. So I'll get these stored away and cut into a few, and we can have a closer look. All right, here you have it. Here we have our freeze-dried saltwater taffy. We did this in the Harvest Right freeze dryer. It was really easy, and it's a fun project to do to make a sweet little treat that you can have for party favors or just a little something extra to brighten someone's day. So I have all 5 of the varieties here, and I cut each one in half so you can see the inside has a really light and airy texture to it, and when you bite into it, it's really intense flavor for whatever variety of saltwater taffy that is. These particular flavors that I picked are nice and bright and festive, and they're all fruity and delicious flavors. So if you're considering doing this perhaps in the fall, you could do maybe the caramel apple and chocolate, and maybe cinnamon and peppermint. Those would be fun ones to do at that time of year. Or if you're having these for a party favor, you can do whatever colors your theme is for that given party or gathering. So as I mentioned earlier, I like to give these as little treats and favors, so I'll put a handful inside of a little cellophane bag and label it, and these are a really tasty little snack and treat to have. Well, I really appreciate you taking time on your day to hang out with me while we did this freeze drying project in the Harvest Right freeze dryer, where we did freeze-dried saltwater taffy. If you'd like more inspiration or ideas on other freeze drying or food preservation type projects using various techniques, you can check out my food preservation playlist. And if you've never freeze dried, or if you're considering trying that food preservation method, I'd recommend it because it's really fun and easy to do. You can do sweets and candies and herbs and ingredients for recipes, as well as full meals. So it's a really versatile way to preserve food, and it's kind of fun to do too. Well, if you're new to the channel or haven't done so yet, I would really appreciate you subscribing. If you enjoyed this or any other video that you watch, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you're having a wonderful day. See you next time. Take care.